Yo, what's up everyone, it's Vikram and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the world of authentication, the gatekeeper of your apps and data. Whether you're building APIs, web apps, or anything in between, understanding authentication is non-negotiable. Welcome to our quick guide on understanding authentication types for developers. Authentication is the backbone of secure systems, and choosing the right method can make or break your application security. We'll break down the most popular types, from simple API keys to the robust world of OAuth and beyond. So, if you're ready to level up your security game and build apps that are Fort Knox level secure, you're in the right place. Let's get started. First up, we have API keys. Think of these as the backstage passes to your application. They're simple, easy to implement, and great for internal APIs or situations where you need quick and dirty authentication. It's like giving someone a key to a specific room. They're in, but their access is limited. But just like a physical key, if an API key falls into the wrong hands, it could spell trouble. The downside? Security isn't their strongest suit. They're vulnerable to interception and don't offer much in terms of user identity. Plus, revoking them can be a pain. So, use them strategically, especially for less sensitive data, and always implement security measures like HTTPS, rate limiting, and nonce validation to add layers of protection. Next, we have Basic Authentication, the username and password combo we all know and maybe love. It's like the classic lock and key, simple, familiar, and it gets the job done in many cases. This method transmits credentials over HTTPS, which is a good start, but it's still vulnerable if HTTPS isn't enforced. The biggest downside? Credentials are sent with every single request, making them susceptible to sniffing attacks if someone's lurking on your network. To stay safe always, and I mean always, use HTTPS. Educate your users about strong password practices and implement policies on your end to enforce them. Now let's step it up a notch with JWT JSON Web Tokens. These are like self-contained packages traveling across the internet, carrying information about the user and their permissions. They're stateless, meaning the server doesn't need to remember the user's session, perfect for scalable, distributed systems. Plus, they're flexible, allowing you to embed custom claims and data. However, JWTs can get a little bulky due to their size, and if not handled properly, they can remain active even after a user logs out, which is a security no-no. To mitigate risks, stick to HTTPS like glue, double-check those token algorithms, and keep those expiration times short and sweet. Alright folks, now we're entering the big leagues, OAuth 2.0. This is the gold standard for delegated authorization, allowing users to grant third-party applications access to their resources without sharing their precious passwords. Think of it like giving a valet key. They can drive your car but can't access your glove compartment. OAuth 2.0 is all about granular control, making it perfect for apps that need to interact with other services securely. The downside? It's notoriously complex to implement, and if not configured correctly, it can open up vulnerabilities like token hijacking. To stay safe, always use PCCE, keep those tokens out of the query parameters, and triple-check those redirect URIs. Next up is OpenID Connect, or OIDC. Think of it as OAuth 2.0's cooler cousin who also knows your name. It builds on OAuth 2.0 by adding an extra layer of identity on top. This means you get all the benefits of OAuth 2.0 but with the added bonus of user information. It's like having a VIP pass that not only lets you in but also tells everyone your name and what you're allowed to do. But with great power comes great responsibility. OIDC can expose sensitive user data if not handled with care, and it relies heavily on the security of the identity provider you choose. So, be sure to validate those tokens, limit the scope of information shared, and you guessed it, enforce short expiration times. Last but not least, we have Mutual TLS, or MTLS, the authentication method for when you absolutely, positively need to be sure of who you're talking to. Imagine this as a super secure handshake where both parties present their ID cards before any information is exchanged. It's ideal for internal communication, microservices, or any situation where high security is paramount. However, this level of security comes with a price complexity. Managing certificates can be a headache, and it can introduce latency, especially in high-traffic scenarios. To make the most of MTLS, Ensure you're using trusted certificate authorities, store those keys securely, and disable any outdated or weak protocols. So, there you have it, a crash course on the most popular authentication methods out there. Each one has its strengths and weaknesses. The right choice depends on your use case, sensitivity of data, and system architecture. Remember, security is not a one-size-fits-all game. It's about layering these methods, implementing best practices, and constantly staying one step ahead of the bad guys. Always prioritize security best practices to mitigate risks. Now it's your turn. What's your go-to authentication method? Let's discuss in the comments.